Hi, I'm Bran. Nothing matters.
Well,
And I love Jane Mysteries.
Jane Mysteries. I'm Brian. Big ol' birds matter. I like Jane Mysteries.
I'm Dan. I despise Jane Mysteries, and Bran will run for beer. And this is the
Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark. It's his podcast.
There he goes. There he goes.
He's off.
He's off. Breaker one night.
Oh, man.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're having a good time.
Having a
We
good
still,
old
Hallmark. There it is.
still no power.
We
Still
got
got a
it.
green screen though. And
Sure
that's,
do.
That's a green screen? We didn't bring
No, that's a
What in
that's
the
a
world?
globe.
that. Man.
He hand painted it. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep.
It's beautiful.
Took all day.
Bran taking a strong stance on running and beer
Loves
this week on
them.
philo.tv/DTH.
I gotta say, a lot of people don't
You're a
know
new
this
man.
about me. I won't run for food. I won't run for
How about your family?
a good cause. I will run
would
for
you,
beer.
Would you run for climate control right
No.
now? in
Did
your
you run
house?
for president?
Wow.
No, I'll run for beer, and that's it.
Wow. Man.
I got the shirt to prove it.
You sure do.
I hope everybody's doing well today. Is this it? Is today Friday? Is that
Man,
what day
who-
this is
who
coming
cares?
out?
Who knows
could
who
I
be.
think
cares?
so.
Who
No?
knows and who cares is what I'll
doesn't
say.
matter. It
What-
doesn't matter.
What?
This is no, because we were supposed. Dan Bay was supposed to be released Wednesday, so we're going to release it Thursday, and then this was supposed to be Thursday, so we're going to release it Friday. Is that right? We have a business.
Possibly.
Okay.
All right.
Producer says yes.
So it's Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully
Dude, how
you
was
do
the
well.
power last night?
It's
We
going
got
great.
it?
Now, a lot of people might be wondering about Chicken Sisters. Are the Chicken Sisters happening this week? No, the Chicken
No.
Sisters aren't.
Unfortunately, no
happening,
chicken of the week, no chicken
chicken
sisters.
of the week,
So
chicken of
we
two
will-
chickens of the week next week.
We will do our best to double
Cluck,
up
cluck, Mr.
on
Guy.
Chicken Sisters. So listen, something had to fall. Some domino somewhere had to
Yes.
fall.
We've got no power. Our pets' heads are falling off.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a quote from Dumb and Dumber that Brand never gets, and he always looks very confused every time I say it. We got no power.
That
We're
can't
recording
be.
at Brian's house because he's got power,
Little
and
bit.
he only lets us in here to record. He's actually said we can never be here if we're not recording.
that's it.
And he's
One occasion.
He actually spits on us on the way out the door.
Yeah, I'll
He's
kick
like,
you right out.
Look at you guys without your power. Who do you think you are?
Get it.
I
Go
am.
back.
Your
Yeah.
ability to spit and always somehow find a tin can in the distance is
It's
crazy.
unbelievable.
No matter how long
You
it
gotta have
takes.
one nearby.
Every time.
You
Every
gotta,
time.
you gotta have one nearby.
That's a long spit too. Not a quick one.
Here's one.
It's a little guy.
Yeah, that was,
That was
really long.
That was weird. I mean, a little bit.
Like off
Got
a-
it
off
spread
a
out a
cliff.
little bit.
Yeah, you lost a
All
little
right,
bit.
hold on. Let me.
Dong.
Whoa!
Look at echo there.
my God.
Brand new bucket.
The old fastball. He's throwing fastballs out here.
Guys, back up. Back up.
Yeah.
Give me space. Give me space.
Dong.
Yeah, or ship
That
your
was a-
pants
did
on that
you-
one, huh?
You hit something.
I know.
I don't know
I'm
what.
not good. Oh, you're the one that does it. Do it. Do it.
Yeah,
good.
absolutely. Yep.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's where we're
This
at.
is fun.
we're
This
here
is a
and
good
we're
time. Yeah.
spitting.
We're all
Everyone's
doing
having a good
well.
old time
We're all
down
doing
here.
well.
Yeah.
We're all doing
We're
well.
fine. We're fine. Everything's fine. It's fine. It's a week without power. We're fine. We're fine.
Everything is definitely fine.
It's fine.
Um,
It's 80 degrees. It's so humid. I'm taking a cold shower to go to bed.
you know, I had to take a cold shower after this J mystery because Steven Czar's out there with a shirt off.
Dude.
Holy
Steven Hazar.
What was that about?
This guy.
What was that about?
Man,
In one of the weirder shirt off scenes
Yeah.
in recent or distant
Yeah.
memory.
it was like it was in the contract. Like we're up against it. We got to get this in here.
Because typically when you have one of those, we'll talk about when we get there.
Yeah.
Typically when you have one of those things that
Yeah.
separates you from the other
yeah, you
person.
stay
partition.
behind.
A partition, we'll call
It's
it.
supposed to partake you from
Yeah,
other
absolutely.
people.
Partake
Partake
you.
you.
He didn't partake.
No.
No,
Yeah.
he didn't.
He didn't.
He partook.
Yeah.
He's partook.
He didn't partake,
He
he
imparted
partook.
upon the partition. To,
You can't do that.
no, you can't do it.
Why?
We'll
Why
get there.
He
even?
part-
Why,
gave.
why partake?
We're
the
jumping
partake.
in. We've jumped in too soon, everybody.
done- yeah.
Let's talk about it. Jane mystery. Too much to
I
lose.
got too much to lose. Downtown,
T-O-O,
anytime, anytime.
much. T-O, lose.
Yeah.
Breaker, 19, Big Bird.
Big old
What was
bird.
that? Big
Should've
old
big old bird.
Again, I don't know when it came
Close.
out. Probably the 26th, I believe the same day as the other one.
Sure.
Possibly.
And
I'm
it
not
went a little something like this. The movie kicks off with Jane singing.
It's a double.
That's crazy. I told
Bounce
you.
off the side.
I
yeah.
told you
That
he's
happens.
good.
Yeah, that happens.
I
Sometimes.
told you he's good. The movie kicks off with Jane singing, but this time with ukulele.
Yeah.
So
Uh-huh.
it's fresh. It's
We'll
new.
definitely see that.
It's Jane Mystery. She is rehearsing for a charity gala, whatever you want to call
You
it.
got it.
It's a gala
reporter.
gala. It's
Hey.
gala apples. There, it's a gala for gala apples.
Oh,
Gala
what a
gala.
confusing.
Yes.
Oh, we went to the gala gala. We hosted the gala gala.
Yeah, we
It
did.
was a mess out there.
Yeah.
Becky's
This is
gala.
Brand wiping his head, going, "I'm tired. I'm hot and sweaty. I don't want to do business."
I only went for beer.
That's
I
right.
just didn't want you to bring
emceed
it
the
up.
Gala gala,
I didn't want you
and
to.
You are over here acting like you're too good to talk about.
It wasn't my best moment.
It wasn't. You're
I
right.
brought a lot of gala-themed jokes that
And the
I
Gala
expect.
Apple people
And they
are
didn't like it.
very serious about their
And it
apples.
wasn't about them.
That's
like
right.
it's not
No.
personal.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
it was like a roast.
Yeah.
And
You
they
did-
didn't
when
like
you
it.
said the Granny Smith joke. Granny Smith, who was there, got
all right.
She was
R.I.P.
pissed.
Obviously.
so R.I.P. Obviously. Yeah.
It's a shame what happened to her.
Yeah.
Pancaked.
We said we were gonna bring it up.
Well, the way you have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
When
Her
you
fam-
bring
her-
up,
she
I
still has people in her family
I
alive.
know, but the way it,
I have to hear about this.
she's pancaked.
Apple
Yeah.
pancakes.
Having them for breakfast. A reporter
her
comes.
Obviously, memoriam.
Obviously.
A reporter
Gala
comes to
gala.
talk to her about,
Respect.
she's thinking that it's going to be about the gala, but it's actually about like, hey, are you actually like good at solving the mysteries? And she's like, yeah, I guess. And Jay's like, what's this about? What? You're supposed to be asking me about the gala. You're asking me about mysteries. And she's like, okay, here's the rub, where the rubber meets the road. I need help finding a missing journalist, a fellow journalist, named Irene.
Irene,
Toby Mac has a song called Irene.
that you're missing.
Not as
Yeah.
good as that one.
No, come on, Eileen. It's a-
Oh, it's a great one. Irene exposes a lot of bad people, and so she's worried that her friend Irene is in trouble. And also, fun fact: I don't know if this is important at all. Irene just won $100,000 on TV, and again, you can do with that what you want to.
The way it's thrown in, you'd think it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You know?
you would think so.
Yeah.
Apparently, she beat the defending champion Edgar, who lost $300,000.
Which, dude,
The math checks out.
You could stop
Definitely.
the movie right now, maybe 6 minutes in, and we'd have enough wait what's to call it. To call it.
Mr. Sam.
If you win, you get $100,000.
If you-
But if you're
if you
defending,
return, you could lose it all.
You could lose it all. Which is
why are you
that's my
returning?
assumption.
Why are you returning?
You should.
Why do you
Yeah,
ever
why would you
return?
ever go back? Ever?
You got
yeah.
300K. You're throwing that all on
But
black?
also, does that mean that Edgar just won 3 times?
he's
a
been
great
on
question,
10
Brad.
times. They
Okay.
say he's been on 10
So-
times. So 30K each time.
But she won 100K
On one time.
on one time.
Doesn't seem fair.
Yes. It was a steal. It was stop the steal.
Stop the
yeah,
steal.
you got to stop the steal.
That's where it came from. A lot of people think that it didn't.
It did.
John once again believes that the police are doing their jobs. They are going to look into this. Trust the police. Margaret and Jane.
Dude, this is where the police are going to. I'm wrong. This is where the police clearly are going to get their comeuppance.
They are.
You said it from the beginning,
I said it.
and they're gonna. This is where they're gonna.
They're
They're
never
gonna
They
pay
are.
for interrogating and holding a kid against his will, treating him like he's not a minor, and forcing a confession. Like they're gonna get to it here.
They're going to get to
This
it.
is it.
This is it.
Worth the wait.
Margaret and Jane go off to Irene's apartment to see if anything is off, and they're shocked to find Irene's aunt. No, Irene's nephew,
Yeah.
Craig.
Yeah.
Craig's aunt is Irene.
Yep.
He promises
She
that
was. She
he's-
was.
She was.
He's like, listen, we don't know that yet. First of all.
Stop that steal.
Yeah. So Craig
Got
is
to.
like, listen, I promise I am just here because I just want to find my aunt. And so they find a note from Edgar that says, something like "You're dead to me," which is a tough thing to send to somebody when they're missing. It's a tough find for sure.
After you just lost your 300,000 to give them 100,000, yeah, yeah, that's a tough
Not a good
note.
look.
It's not a good. That letter's that's a bad letter to send.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is the Pun Show a prince somewhere that has sent an email? Like, what is the show? If you send me
Somewhere
your 300,000, you'll get 100,000.
whomever made the game up is sitting in a room with a cigar laughing.
Yeah.
I know that much.
Yeah.
This guy's coming back for more. He's got 300 grand. He's about to lose
He
it
doesn't know
all.
what's about to happen to him.
Somebody else is going to win 101 episodes.
Yes.
200 for me.
That's right. Stop the steal.
Naturally, Jane thinks that John should talk to Edgar. And so he comes in and he does not think very highly of being asked these questions. But then Jane walks in and is like, oh my gosh, you're the guy who won 10 times for $300,000.
$300,000
You're phenomenal. We
each
love
time.
you. You're amazing. And he says that he thinks that the game was rigged. Got to be honest with you, I kind of agree with him.
Little.
Just
Yes,
based off of
yes.
what I know.
Yeah.
Tell me about the All-Stars tournament, though.
So he says there's an all-star tournament that he is going to get to be a part of.
He's featured,
Why would he want to be, though?
so he could lose some of his own money in his account.
That's right. If you give us some money,
That's
then you
right.
can be an
Yeah,
all-star.
yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
you're an all-star. Give us money. Go lose. So that's what he thinks. So later, someone tags Jane on social media and says that Irene got what she had coming, and Jane will too. But it's an anonymous account. Who could it be? Who could it be? Nothing is wrong. We did get to see Hazar with a shirt on. I talked about that already, but boy, oh boy, that's the main takeaway from this movie. Wow. Craig gets a text from Irene saying that she is safe, but laying low. And he's like, an autocorrect here is really funny. It's a curse word, and it's a profane. So
It's a profane.
It's
Yeah, a couple-
propane.
Yeah,
he's
it's a
he's
propane.
like, she never calls me Craig. She always calls me Curly. Something must be wrong. And so also apparently she turned the phone tracker on her phone, which she would never do. She's an investigative journalist. You don't want to know where I am. So it's at the TV studio. So she sneaks in. Jane does, to try to find where she's at. Can't find her. She gets kicked out. All of a sudden, the police show up, and they start digging around literally in the dumpster, and they find a body. And it is Irene.
Oh.
Jane is there, and this other reporter,
Yep.
shows up, and it's like, you know who I am.
You
And-
are.
Yo, did you all know her? Okay, great.
She popped into the office, Irene's office, at one point.
She
I don't
looked
know if that-
familiar,
was
like
that
I'd
bef-
seen her before, but
Yeah.
like
She
she
was-
wasn't a major player in my opinion.
Okay. So
Yeah.
she's like, hey, if you play ball with me, I'll play ball with you. We can give scoops and stuff. And
Sure.
Jane's like,
Trade
"Nah."
scoops. Yeah.
And John's like, no.
No, John's like maybe she could be helpful.
Maybe.
Yes.
That's the big thing you need to know, though, about her. She's not going to be important at all. And so Jane is able to hack into Irene's laptop thanks to Parrot.
Thank you, Parrot.
Thank you, Parrot, obviously.
Shout out to Parrot.
Shout out to Parrot,
Thank you for
who
going.
he does get a credit on IMDb. And
Parrot gets a credit.
Parrot gets a credit.
Parrot gets
As
a
he
credit.
should.
You look up
Or
Parrot.
she,
Yeah, let's
do
give
we-
the Parrot a shout out, first of all. The
Parrot.
name
Larry,
of
the credit, the parrot, right?
Parrot gets a credit.
and discovers that she was investigating somebody who was stealing money from charities. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Do we think that it was Irene?
What?
Could Irene be the person?
She's such a good heart.
She has such a good heart, a great heart.
That's Perry the Parrot.
Perry
the Parrot.
That's the name. I'm sorry. The
Who's
actor's
the actor?
name is Kiwi the Cockatiel.
A
Ooh, that's a
great
cool name.
cockatiel.
Kiwi the Cockatiel.
Very
Tip of the hat to Kiwi.
Kiwi.
Tip of
Shout
the hat.
out.
Good job.
So they are able to track down and figure out that the woman that we didn't know
Yep.
was important, and that she was the person who was doing the charity scam.
Yeah.
And so Jane goes and confronts her, and once again, Jane's ability to immediately get somebody to confess to what they do and pull
It's
out a gun.
unbelievable.
It's
Second to none.
second to none. She's able to do it, and luckily, John, per usual, right around the corner. We're good to go. Don't have to worry about her. She gets arrested, and then John and Jane, they go and they dress up, and they look nice, and I thought they were gonna kiss.
Did you watch this movie through a screen door?
No. What am I missing?
No, I mean, like, it's just the details are very foggy.
I stopped writing.
Okay, got it.
I stopped writing after investigating
They
someone who was
dress up.
stealing money from
Yeah.
charities.
Yes, great.
Wow,
Did
you
I
did
miss
awesome.
And then
it?
they're
Top
like,
of your
yeah,
head?
then they're going to go on a third date, right?
They're gonna go on a third date,
great.
yeah, and then they're gonna maybe they'll kiss then. And that, my friends, was the Jane Mysteries. Too much to lose.
We did it.
We did. Again, he was shirtless.
He was shirtless. There was
sure
a
was.
partition. He did not partake in
Yeah.
the partition.
He said, "I will not."
He
be
was
partaking."
impartial towards it, but did not partake. in
No,
the
he did.
partition.
Well, he partook in it, and so
He
far
briefly
until
partook.
it didn't matter.
But primarily did not partake.
He partook in it until he needed to, and
And
then
then
when
he
it became
did not-
necessary to partake,
he did not partake.
And
That's
he
right.
said, "Here's what."
One of the
here's
weirder
what,
scenes-
Here's what should be partaking.
We're never mad about seeing Stephen Hazar shirtless.
No,
never.
never.
But there are so many better ways to make that happen.
Imagine going behind a partition and getting naked and going, "It's done
Now's
its
the
job
time.
now."
You
and
don't
I'm
want to
gonna
see
walk
me
out.
take my shirt off.
You
Right.
want to see
You
it.
want to
the
see
result,
me
yeah.
after I've taken my. He goes behind there, takes his shirt off, then walks back
Yeah.
out. What are you
It's
doing?
done its job. We've done our job. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna finish it. We're gonna finish our job. Take the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark. He knows there's another day. I gotta finish it.
Well, we'll
Finish this.
We're back. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Take the Hallmark. We are not behind any partition. We actually
No.
couldn't be more exposed. Here's my leg.
Thank
You're
you.
running for beer.
I'm running for
It's
beer.
the
I'm having a
only
good
thing.
time. We're recording at night again, and
You do great at this.
No
I-
power
you're
in the
great at night.
studio.
You're great.
I
I
at it.
love being up late at night.
I'm never at my highest than I am. At
Did you just
nighttime.
eat a fried chicken lunch? Have you?
God.
This
Oh
is
yeah,
like
you guys
lunchtime
thought-
brand.
you guys think I'm
I'm
bad.
never at my highest.
Yeah.
at night.
Let's break it down. We're going to start with
Yeah,
the hot
man.
take. It's where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back, and I'm going to start with you, Brian.
Yeah.
Brian, third Jane mystery in so many weeks. What do you think about this one?
Someone did shrink Stephen Hazar's shirts again. Just so I mean, we
They
can talk
sure
about,
did.
but his
Yeah.
shirts,
Yeah,
minuscule.
continually getting
Just-
tighter. Yes.
just so tight. And they just look so good on him. They're kind of like ugly patterns and ugly shirts, but they just look so good. It's the type
Yeah.
of thing you're like, I put that on, like I look like trash. Like,
Yeah.
I could
Well,
not.
we wouldn't say it, but yeah, we'd all be thinking.
I would know it. I would feel it. The guy just phenomenal in clothes. This one
It's
just
phenomenal.
Phenomenal
and,
in
and
clothes.
we found out out of.
Phenomenal
and out
outside of
when you come
clothes,
around the
too.
Doesn't
partition.
matter if you're in them or out of them.
This movie, and I got a sweet tooth. We all know this about
yeah,
me.
you got a sweet tooth.
This one didn't hold my attention. I was not super into this one, unfortunately. I feel like there were so many holes.
What does that have to do with the sweet tooth? Why'd you bring up
Because
your
like I'm just
Jo-
bummed out
Jodie
that I
Sweetin.
was. Jodie
Oh, sorry,
You
I
like-
You really
forgot.
aren't at your highest.
You're
he
not
says
at
it
your
every
highest.
episode.
We got to
I'm so
believe him one
sorry.
of these times.
So
He's
sorry.
not at his highest.
This is Granny Smith all over again.
Oh my
Do
gosh!
not.
And here's the thing, pancake, and I don't think it was my fault.
You don't think so?
I don't know how it could be possibly my fault, but they've tried to blame me.
And I think legally that's probably all you can say at
That's
this
all
point.
you can
Open
say at this point.
investigation.
It
Yes.
happened 10 days after the
That's
gala
right.
gala.
Yeah, yeah. And
I don't know how
you're
I
treading
could
on
be.
thin ice
I
here.
don't know how
You're
I
on
could
thin
be.
ice
I don't
here,
know how I
man.
could be blamed for it. Wasn't
like,
even in the state.
of mind. You last time you said, why isn't she working on the dozens, maybe
Yeah.
hundreds of cold cases? And
That's
that,
right.
And that,
And it continues.
yes, and it was just in my mind the whole time, and I just got really annoyed that she is just taking on any person who walks in the door versus what she's supposed to be doing.
It's like the setup of the original movie didn't matter.
Yes, like they set this, and now they don't, and they set up a lot. They set up the biggest thing, the thing I'll let you. I hope you go off on at some point here. The mother, her mother, right? Her mother's death in the car crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not a word.
No, they
not
didn't
a
talk
peep.
about it.
Not
Nothing.
a peep. Holy cow! I'm like, I was ready. Like I want some resolution on this. Not a word. And so it's like they set up these big things that could carry throughout, be through lines, and they just don't use them. They just like we want these to stand alone. We're gonna drop this huge thing that we could stretch across multiple movies, and just we want these to stand alone. Forget it. And it's kind of annoying if you're trying to follow along through all the movies and you have these things that could pay off and just vaporize like Granny Smith. So, and a lot of stuff in this didn't even come through. The whole Pun Hero TV show, Chet, this guy, I'm like, they didn't introduce a guy like Chet to not make him the killer, right?
Or something.
Yes.
To make him
have
something.
him doing something. Nothing with Chet.
Nothing
Would
with
have
Chet.
been great. So, just really kind of bummed out about a lot of stuff that feel like could have used for big payoffs that would have been fun. Didn't happen.
Yep. I agree 100% with you. Bad murder, bad mystery, all of that. The frustration with not building to anything. It just seems like we are, instead of building up, we're just building out. And that doesn't do much. It doesn't help you get.
Unless you're really long.
Yeah, of course. Unless you're building a bed for Andre the Giant.
You can build it back better.
You could build a. You could. We're not. But I don't want to build a bed for Andre the Giant. I want to build a wall. I want to build
upright
up.
Andre.
I want to. Yes, I want it for like him to be able to lean up
Yeah,
against,
absolutely.
not lay horizontally. And that's what I thank you. And that's what I feel like is happening in these movies. It feels like we
Quick, what's
have
the opposite of horizontal?
vertical.
Wow.
Man.
You
this
are. It
guy's
might be your
crushing.
highest.
Highest,
Man, I
for
don't
sure.
know, man.
Thank
That's
you.
pretty good.
Somebody run get him a beer.
How about this? Quadrilateral.
Whoa!
He's fooling us.
I
You're
know.
trying to pull
It's a
one
big
over.
fool.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a big fool watching this because I have gone to bat for these movies. I've gone to bat for they're gonna try to tell this story about the police. Clearly, I was wrong about that. They're gonna do something with the mom being dead. Last time I thought that they had all the perfect things to have some sort of closure, and they were like, "No, we're not going to do that.
Forget
We're
that.
going to save it for next time." No, they didn't save anything for this time. And again, you can't just keep letting people willy-nilly decide what case you're going to work on. There has to be some sort of listen, we are not administratively focused here at the company, but dadgummit, if we were running this, it would be at least there'd be some sort of order.
You clear a
Yeah.
few boxes.
There's no order.
None.
There's no order. And I understand it's hard to have somebody come in and look you in the eye and be like, someone is missing, and I think that you can do it. But you know what? How about the people in the box?
That's right. How about that?
Who's thinking about the people in the box?
Thinking about the people in the
Because you know what? Those are real people too. They're not just names on paper that are inside of a box that haven't been
box.
opened
They're
in
people
years.
in the box.
They're people in the box. You got to think about them. We haven't thought about them in many, many times that we've done Jane Mysteries, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of this because we have the makings of something special. We've got Jane. We've got John, two great characters. We've got Jane's aunt.
We've got a fun long-term mystery.
got a fun long-term-
We've got a box full of of cold cases.
Boxes
We've
of
got
cold
we've
cases.
got yes, we've got a lot, and at the same time we got nothing.
Hard for me to put a much finer point on it than these two already did, but I'm gonna try. This movie flat out sucks. It is so unfortunate, and I think it's the very dangerous combination of I hated this movie and I'm disappointed in this movie. That is like, give me, and I can't believe I'm saying this, give me this week's Dan Bay movie over this movie, which if you had told me before watching them that I was going to take the third Dan Bay movie over the fourth Jane Mysteries movie, I'd have said you're crazy.
I don't.
But I feel like,
Really?
and
Steven
maybe
Azar
it's,
shirtless.
I get it. This movie doesn't make sense, Bran.
I understand that.
She won $100 on a game show.
She won
Because
$100,000.
the $100,000 because the guy
He lost 300.
he
300.
lost 3 over 10,
Over 10.
champion.
She did it
and the
once.
reporter was in cahoots.
Yes.
that we know is
We
important.
know her. We love her. We hate her.
Well, no, we don't love her.
All I know is this: is the first Jane Mystery so much potential. Everything was there. Everything was there, and these have progressively gotten worse. Agree? I guess maybe last week's. I don't know.
Yeah, the Mosby. I think this might be better than Mosby.
it's
right?
tough to beat the ending of Mosby.
The
I think it would
Mosby,
all-
The ending of Mosby
the
was
Mosby
phenomenal. That's
one
true.
Is
That's true.
better than the second
Forgot
one.
about that.
I think.
It's tough to beat the ending of Mosby.
Mosby was phenomenal. Yeah.
But the Mosby. Talking about the Mosby is the one with Edgar Allan Poe, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
The movie sucks.
It's
But
tough
the
to,
ending-
tough to
the
beat the
ending,
ending.
is so bad.
You
it's
take
good.
Hazar
Yes.
shirtless in that ending, and
Yeah. So yes, now I'm 100%.
Give it all the deckies.
All right, yeah, give it all the decades. The first one's the best. The second one's the next best. Third one, fourth one, they all
Fourth
get
one's
worse.
the one with the hairy chest.
Fourth one's the Fourth one is the worst one. It is by far and away the worst of these movies. It is like they are making it up as they go along. All the things we care about, we don't get anything on.
And I think it's tough too because it's like no one's telling us what's going on. You know, it's like we got these movies back to back to back, and it's like
I thought they were going to build to something.
I thought we were going to build. But if it's like, hey, we were trying to do like a procedural thing, like someone could have told us, you know, like.
And if you're going to do a procedural thing, then do that with the people in the box.
Do it with the people in the box.
Keep bringing in these.
You
new
got
things.
a great setup for procedural.
This should have been a spinoff. This shouldn't have even counted as a Jane mystery.
It was very confusing.
It was a terrible movie.
No one's talking to us. You know, no one's telling us what's going on.
We got nothing.
Well, I just want to
They're releasing more Aurora Tea Garden
that came out of nowhere.
Get out of here.
No one, guys,
we don't know.
We're in the dark as you are. Actually, probably more so. People are really good at finding out stuff, and then I find out, and I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
If you had power, though, maybe it'd be.
That's true. I do feel like I kind of stay up to date.
I would be willing to watch these on a loop if I had power right now. I would watch one a day. I would watch.
No, you would not.
I'd watch one a day for a year if you.
The
told
lights
me
come on and you will
watch
change your tune.
one Jane
I would watch
mystery
one a day for a year if you told me there was power in my house right now.
You would not.
One a day for a year.
Someone call a line worker. Let's do this. It'd be great. This would be fun.
Brand has no ulterior motive.
Brand's up in the lines.
No. Just
Hey,
give
kids.
me a giant generator that runs my entire house.
Yeah.
Just go hook it up while I'm here. People that know my address.
Yeah.
That are listening live.
Hey kids, I know it's Christmas morning and we got to open gifts, but first I do have to knock out this Jane mystery. I'd rather get this out of the way now.
Yeah.
It's time for all the feels where we're talking about what this movie gives feels, Brian.
Yeah, the performance at the Children's Hospital actually really worked for me when they did that. Like that was a nice thing to do, and more of that for the kids.
Yeah, you know, I don't understand the pun game
At all.
No. And it is somehow my feels, my wait what, and my what the Hallmark.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna mention it and
Yeah,
just
thank
be
you.
like, isn't it special?
It is so special. The lack of time they put into that game is so special. I'll take Brian's. That's all I got.
Thanks.
Brian.
Unforgettable.
Yep.
Let's take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll talk more here on Deck the Hallmark. We're back. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Deck the Hallmark. Brian, Dan. We're talking Jane Mystery, the Trace, but it's also the fifth.
It's the fourth one.
It's the fourth.
Number
Fourth
four.
one.
Okay.
We get more? Do we know?
It's not the fifth. I thought they did one and then a second
Pretty sure
one.
it's
I
the
think
fourth.
this is four.
Okay.
We got one, and these are.
I'll take your word for it.
The Broad for yes, there are four of these.
Okay, great. Let's get to the way what. So we're talking about what is movie made us go way what. I'll start with you, Brian.
Yeah, not enough singing and performing from Jane. I realized. Like we start off the song at the beginning. I really liked. I liked that performance.
That's nice.
And it just like she just doesn't really do any more. Really.
It
Like,
just
feels
sets
like
the
they're
stage, is all
doing
it
it
does.
because they
Yeah.
have to.
Yes.
They're doing it because they
I
have
know.
to.
I would just. I think I'd like a little bit more singing and music play throughout. That'd be fun to do. Did you guys? I know we watched this in weird spots and all that stuff. On my screen that I watched it on, in the dark, on Irene's house, Jane's face looked like orange. It was like almost glowing in certain spots.
catch it.
Really?
I didn't catch it.
And then
I kept thinking that Irene looked like Jane's aunt.
yes, she sure did. Sadie,
And
yeah.
that was driving me crazy.
Yeah, and there was another point, Sadie's face. Yeah, they all very similar looks, you're right.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
throw a twin in the mix.
Yeah, and then there's a
Forget it.
twin. I'm like,
For, like,
is
no good
Jane's
reason.
aunt the twin of? Is
Yeah.
that also Jane's aunt? Is Irene also
I mean,
Jane's
the
aunt?
twin definitely played a major factor in this
Oh
movie.
yeah,
the fact
it's
they
a
were
good
just
thing
so-
we talked about the twin in the synopsis.
Yeah.
You were all over it in the synopsis.
Yeah.
You didn't even mention it.
Yeah,
So
but
They
maybe-
bring a twin involved, and it doesn't matter,
Not even a
guys.
tiny bit. So there was something weird with it. It might have just been like my TV screen. The coloring was very odd, like very odd. I just didn't know if that was just me.
Coloring over there.
Yeah, it was real weird. The police chief hasn't.
Don't.
The police chief hasn't gotten involved in John's freelance work at all.
Nothing.
Not a peep
Doesn't
to him
care.
about like, hey man, do that on your own time. But the second Mr. Salmon steps out of the office, he is on the phone screaming at
Yeah.
John for it. like, what the heck? Why are we doing this? It's just, it was so random that it's like, oh, obviously it's not salmon. Like, they're trying to make this a big thing. It's so obvious. It was just so obvious. And
does he have the police chief like on his like? Is it like
he's watching?
Is he?
all
Is
the time.
Mr. Is the Edgar
Mr. Sandman?
Mr. Salmon? Maybe.
Does he like have? Did he? Is he
chief?
paying the chief? Is there like what's going on there?
They could have been in
knows?
cahoots. Like, hey, I'm gonna give you some of this money that I'm definitely going to win in the future. Yeah,
I'm going All Stars.
that's right.
Hang
So
out.
the Chiefs in on it. And my part of my a big part of it, which also bleeds into my what the Hallmark is the pun show.
Yeah.
It's just so
What are we doing here, gang?
why?
Somebody had a funny idea.
Yeah.
Punny idea, if you will.
I will.
What if the game show's all about puns and then they put zero more work into it?
That's it.
None.
We get none of the rules.
no rules.
What is it?
No
It
regulations.
just
How do you
starts-
win money? How do you lose money? How do you win 100,000 one
So
episode? How do
yeah.
you lose 300,000 after 10? None of it makes any
Such
sense.
a distraction.
It's absurd.
How do you lose 300? Like
That's the biggest, like,
you shouldn't be able to lose it.
if you, like
Yeah.
on Jeopardy, if you were risking all your previous day's earnings when you came back, you would never show up for a second
No.
day.
You never.
Never.
And the security guard like doesn't talk. Like what a lot. Like security guard doesn't say a word. Like
Yeah.
leave. You can't come here.
That
like,
extra.
He's. I mean,
He's background for
100%
sure.
had to be. But it was
Yes.
just a weird thing for a set to have somebody who's just like, not a word, just
Yeah.
shaking his head. You can't do that.
Nope, can't do it.
So yeah. That pun show, man, threw me
Was
for a
wild,
loop.
huh?
The good
Yeah.
stuff.
I mentioned it that they just snuck in the fact that she won $100,000 on the pun show. I do feel like you should lead with it. Like, hey, some weird things happened. She won $100,000 on a pun show, and then she went missing right afterwards. But she's like, she went missing. She works on a lot of crazy cases, so it's probably something like that.
But what? Yeah.
She won $100,000.
She literally says the line just like this. The only reason I know is I tried to congratulate her on winning $100,000 on a TV game show the day before. What?
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 That's crazy.
Why? Every other Hallmark mystery would start like this.
Yeah.
A woman wins the money,
Yeah.
goes off stage, and then that night you see her go, "What are you doing here?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And then she's gone.
They can't do that, though, in these ones because there's a song. You got to start with the song.
Gotta start with the song.
But instead, they had someone deliver that line just like that. I tried to congratulate her on winning $100,000. You would never say that
You'd
line.
never say it.
That's
You
insane.
never say. Craig is the nephew. When he is walking through with Jane, like, hey, here's how you're gonna get into the TV studio. He is just like, hey, good thing the floor plans for the game show studio are on live.
Just right here, blueprints.
What?
And they try to do a Mission Impossible thing
Yeah.
where he's in the other room. He's like, "You're gonna need to turn left.
Yes.
And then you're gonna."
But
Yep.
those blueprints just aren't readily available, right?
If
Like,
it's a city building,
do you think so?
Maybe.
if it was somehow connected to the government, it would be.
Okay, great. I love
mean,
that.
it could have been so easy to work around where they're like, they give tours of the studio. Here's a map of it. Like, it didn't have to be
Yes.
blueprints,
It's
right?
ridiculous.
When she gets thrown out and she goes back there and she's having the conversation with who we now know is the killer. We know her, we love her.
Yeah. Well,
When the police show up, it comes like back from break and it's really weird. They do like 7 or 8 establishing shots of police stuff. Here's a police car.
Yes.
Here's the tape.
Yes.
Here's an overhead shot. Here's the police coming. It was so weird. They've never done this before. They established the heck out of the police force that has shown up, and they have blocked this area off. It was wild. And also, lastly, once again, I just want to apologize to everybody out there that I really done goofed about the police force here in the Jane Mysteries. It is clear that they are doing shady work, and I thought for sure we'd get to the bottom of that. And I want to apologize again. I know there's a lot of tough stuff going on out there, and I just want to say that I side with the people and. Let's keep working. Let's keep the dialogue going. And
Yeah.
I'm man enough to know when I made a mistake. And this one didn't help. This one didn't help
It
my case.
stung.
It actually hurt it. And I'm sorry. I want to apologize once again about that.
thank you.
At the beginning of this movie, we're to believe, Brand, that Jane doesn't know what a pun is. She's traveled the world, well read. She doesn't know what one is. That's crazy. At the end of this movie, she's just out punning the masses. She is just.
Once you get
She's
it.
a pun slinger. She's
Yeah.
just like.
Oh, man, that was
I mean,
better than
just-
anything in this
yeah,
movie.
I mean, it's crazy out there. She's throwing punches, and
Hey, save pun for me.
the thing about puns is you have to use the word pun.
Yeah.
You can't do it with any other word. That's the thing
That's
that
my
I learned.
understanding.
And
And I just won $100,000. You
I just lost
300
three.
actually.
It's gone. It's
If
gone.
you're not first, you're last. And you
That
lose
makes
300.
plenty of sense to me.
Well, I don't know.
Oh no, you
That's
gotta
a
leave.
lot of-
Oh man,
it's a lot
one
of-
too many.
Punny. Okay.
Dude, if you're not careful, you're gonna be the next Granny Smith. I'll say that much.
R.I.P. Obviously.
Pun caked.
The pun game. That's the best one. I get that the police officers think there's no foul play. They're like, look,
Of course they do.
the police officer's like, look, she won $100,000 and then she left. Why are we not looking for anything? Yeah. But when she doesn't show up for work and she's been gone for 48 hours and anyone would start some sort of search at that point.
Yeah.
At this point, the police are actively bad at their jobs.
Yeah.
Like they don't go in. No one in 48 hours has been in the house.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah. And
With
someone's
what-
clearly gone through the house.
This
there's
is like
stuff
an
around.
actual job for a police officer. This is one they should be doing. I couldn't believe it. At one point, someone says this line. She did mention a nephew, and she said she wanted to. I'll tell you later. And I don't remember if it comes back or not, but I do know this. If you say in a case, she did mention a nephew, and she said she wanted to, you're going to finish that sentence. She did mention a nephew, and she said she wanted to. I'll tell you later. It's
Not important.
It's not important. I know we're looking for her. I know she's missing. She did mention a nephew, and he's here, and we don't know if he's a killer. And she mentioned she wanted to
Say those words.
I'll get to it later. No big deal.
It was kill him, right?
I don't know.
Like, you know, sometimes it's like you want, like, I want to kill that. I want to kill that nephew of mine. Like, what I thought, but she didn't want to say that because the guy was right there. You know, one
And
of
then
those
she
things.
says, "I'll tell you later."
"Yeah, I don't
Was
know
the
why
nephew
she-
there?
The nephew was in the room.
It
Yeah,
had
yeah,
to
yeah.
have been. She wanted to set her
Set her
up
up with
Oh,
the girls.
okay.
She's like,
Yeah.
I don't wanna
That's
say
way
that.
nicer.
But
Yeah.
like you're hanging on every word. You're trying to solve a case. You don't care they're trying to get set. You're like,
That's
She
right.
tried to what? Like finish the sentence now. Like, you know.
Actually, it would have been a cool little thing. Be like, she actually wanted to set us up.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
I'll tell you later.
And this may be just me being critical of driving, but it takes Jane a year and a half to back her 4Runner into a parking space in a garage. She might still be working on it. I don't know.
Gotta get it straight between the lines.
You know, I'm not big on the like go to 1.5 speed, but I wanted to at that moment. I was like, just park the car. There's all kinds of room. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Salmon has been on a show 10 episodes. He's no Ken Jennings. This whole All-Star thing, I don't even want to talk about it. I don't want to get into it. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
It's time for What the Hallmark. It's where we wonder what could have been. Maybe help give some clarity to questions we still have. Brian, what do you still wonder about?
Just the only thing I'm thinking about is the show, the Punch
Yeah.
show. Like,
Yes.
what the heck is it?
Yeah.
What is Chet up to? Where is he? Who's doing his hair? Because fantastic part
Yeah.
he's got going on. And just, the money thing is, we deserve an explanation. Like,
Yeah.
how did you, what,
How
what
do
is the
you
deal?
win money? How do you lose money?
Yeah.
Is obviously
My
high
big
on
one
that.
is All-Stars.
Yeah.
I know that they don't. That we're not sure there actually was an All-Stars
Yeah.
game. Maybe somebody was lying to him, but what?
Yeah.
You lost all your money. You should be the and they're featuring you on the All-Stars.
So that's like my thing. Is like is he a big deal? Edgar Salmon, is he a big deal in his mind?
Yeah.
Was he already if 10 episode run is not long enough to become
Big for literally
right?
anything.
I was so confused as to what his deal was. If he's like a notorious game show
Right.
winner type thing where he goes on different game shows. If the 10 episodes on Pun is brought or is it all in his mind?
What's the name of the Pun game show right now? What is it?
Pun. I haven't.
Pun
written
War?
down.
I don't remember.
Pun of Worlds?
I have
wrote
it written down.
So do I, yeah.
It is Pun.
Pun Hero.
Pun Hero.
Pun Hero.
There it is.
It's not even a pun
It's
in
not
the
even
name.
a pun in the name. It's not even a pun in the name.
So mad right
I've
now.
never seen someone create have an idea and do not put less work in it than they put into a pun game show in
Yeah.
this movie.
You hate
It's
to
crazy.
see- You hate to see it.
You hate to see it.
hate to see it. And you hate to see this. We're done. Oh, I had one more wait what that I forgot to say.
Please,
And it
please
was
go for
about about Stephen Hazard being shirtless. When he unpartitions from the partition,
Of course, yeah.
she
Unpartook.
seems surprised when she sees
Her
his
reaction to
physique.
him shirtless, it could be studied for decades.
So here's the thing. I've never been less surprised seeing someone shirtless
Yeah.
in my life.
Yes,
The way he
yes.
looks is
Yeah.
exactly how
What
you would think so
yes.
because of how tight his shirts are.
But
she looks at him like we looked at Brian when he took his shirt off
Yeah.
at Bramble Fest. We were like, oh, wow, look
But
at that
I
guy.
didn't think she looked like, I thought her acting there was weird.
I thought it was a
Yeah.
surprise look like, oh,
I
wow.
didn't think it was like, oh dang. I thought it was just like, oh, you're shirtless. It didn't look like she was like, I don't know.
I
just
no,
was
she
like,
looks,
what is
she looks
Jody doing?
surprised. I took it as, oh wow, look at that body for a
Great.
second, and then she
Oh,
powered
look
through.
at that body. Oh, look at that body. Ding-dong.
We did, everybody. Congratulations. We word on the street is that we're done.
We're done for
We're
this
done
week.
for this week.
And if you don't see us in a studio on Monday, pray for us.
Actually,
Yeah.
you won't see us on the studio on Monday.
Oh, no. If you don't see us in the studio on Tuesday,
Tuesday.
Send up.
Tuesday,
send them up. Prayers up, everybody.
Tuesday week.
Tuesday week.
Tuesday week.
No, just Tuesday. Tuesday week would be a week from
Week,
Tuesday.
What's
fair.
that too though? Tuesday week too.
If you don't
That's-
see us one there, I don't even want to talk about it.
That'll be tough.
Yeah.
We'll
tell
be
you
back
later.
next time with another one. Until then, maybe first, wish you a
Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmark is a Bramble Jam podcast. It's produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.